You're listening to the How to Talk to Girls podcast, where you'll learn step-by-step how to meet and seduce beautiful women, whether you're looking for one night of fun, a week-long fling, or a long-term relationship. I'm your host, Trip, and the episode starts now. Hello and welcome to another episode of the How to Talk to Girls podcast. Welcome back. My name is Trip Kramer from tripadvice.com. I say welcome back because I just have a gut feeling you listened to an episode or two before. I think at the point of making this, I am now 334. So this is 335 episodes. I can't believe it. It's crazy. But then again, I would hope I would do 335 episodes if I've been doing the podcast for 5 years. In fact, I think we're coming up to a couple weeks of the 5-year anniversary. Maybe I'll do something special for the podcast. I believe the first episode I put out was at the end of December 2014. It is now the end of December 2019. So I am just so happy to continue this podcast. And I hope that it's helping you. If it is, you can leave a review. You can always leave a review if you're listening to it on iTunes or Stitcher or anywhere else where you can leave a review. I don't know if you can leave a review on Spotify. I hope you can. I'm just not sure if it exists, but a review would be great. It's always good to see you guys write and let me know how it's going for you and if it helps you. And if you're new here, well, welcome to your first episode. Don't worry, we're not going to leave you out. You are included, and we are here to help you because this is the How to Talk to Girls podcast, teaching you how to talk to girls, attraction, and all sorts of dating, sex, and relationship advice. So what's today's episode about? Today's episode is about something that we have talked about here on the podcast. I had a popular podcast that came out recently. It was with Mr. Dr. Robert Glover. We did an interview with him. It was an awesome interview. I get on the phone with a lot of guys who are interested in coaching, and they say that they loved that episode. And because I know that guys love that episode, it tells me, well, a couple of things. They really enjoyed me interviewing Dr. Robert Glover because he's a very smart guy and has a lot of great things to say. But also it tells me more importantly that you see yourself as a nice guy. You are kind of going back and forth this idea of, I'm the nice guy. What do I do about that? How do I fix that? But how do I not fix that? Because I don't want to be a jerk, but I want to be myself. And it just gets really confusing. And I get it. And don't worry, because we're going to be going over that on today's episode. So if you are a nice guy, consider yourself a nice guy, stick around. This is going to help. If it helps a little bit, but you feel like you need a little bit more guidance and you need someone to help you really remove this nice guy trait from yourself so you can be a little bit more of what's called alpha or masculine and not so accommodating to other people. If you feel like you need help with that specifically so you can be more attractive to people and build higher self-esteem and be a better person all around, there is coaching available to you. The new year is coming up and there are spots available for January for you to join the Trip Advice coaching program one-on-one with me. I do accept applications all the time, but I don't always approve every single application. It all depends on how you fill the application out. You know, I'm not trying to make this difficult for people to sign up. I want to help as many guys as possible, but I can only help guys who are really serious about getting help. So when you fill out the application form and you fill it out to your best ability, meaning details, then I can know that you'd be a good candidate for coaching. So if you want coaching, that would be you and me working together to guide you along to remove the nice guy tendencies. You can apply at coachedbytrip.com. Again, that's coachedbytrip, with 2 P's.com, where it's a simple little application that you fill out. It takes you about 10 to 15 minutes. And once that goes through, I myself will read it through it to make sure you're a good fit. And if you are, you and I will hop on a phone call and we will discuss your issues and we will see which program is going to be best suited for you to get help. So apply today so you can start removing the nice guy in the new year. Coming up here in a couple of weeks. Don't hesitate. coachedbytrip.com. So, should you stop being a nice guy? how does this all work? It gets confusing. It gets confusing because nice guy tendencies are usually created within someone who wants to be accommodating and has low self-esteem. So what they do is they don't do things for themselves. Everything they do is for other people. How do I know this? Well, a few reasons. One, I'm a former nice guy. That's right. I'm a former nice guy. And I'm also really well read and well versed in how the nice guy stuff works because I've studied it. So not only have I been through it myself, but I've been researching what this is all about and some of the psychology behind it. And if you haven't listened to the Dr. Glover podcast episode, you should listen to that because that goes deep too. But what you have to understand is when it comes down to nice guy, what it's really all about at the end of the day is the way that you look at yourself. You think it's about how other people look at you, but really it's how you look at yourself because it always starts from the way that you look at yourself and then you act accordingly from there. So it's the foundational beliefs inside of your psyche. And this can have been caused by the way that you grew up. Maybe you were bullied as a kid. Maybe something happened with your parents growing up and how they raised you. There's all kinds of different situations. We're not going to go into necessarily deeper into the why. While that does matter, and it's very important for you to know why, that's something that you should sit down with a psychologist about. Now, me as a coach, what I'm doing here now is being like, okay, you know that you're a nice guy. You understand that it stems from something either from childhood and something from self-esteem, but then what are you supposed to do about it? And what are the bigger implications because of it, right? So you're this person who thinks that they're a nice guy. It's come from low self-esteem. So what do? Do you stop being that nice guy? Because it's a little confusing. If you're stopping being a nice guy, then logically that sounds like you should be mean, right? But that's not what we're talking about here. It's not about nice versus being mean. It's about you being a nice guy to other people at the expense of being nice to yourself. Now, you think you're being nice to yourself because you're trying to get what you want. No, Trip, I'm trying to get what I want. If I'm nice to other people, I'll get what I want. People will like me, and that's what I want. But you know what happens? The result is that you're not going to be attracting women. They're not attracted to a nice guy because they know that it's very weak. And they know subconsciously what you're doing. They don't understand necessarily the psychology behind it. They're not like, oh, he's being a nice guy and being very accommodating to me and nice to me and complimenting me because he has low self-esteem, because it all stems from something from childhood. No, they're not thinking that. They're not thinking about you having low self-esteem or not liking yourself. But what they are seeing is that you don't have your own personality. And they know on this subconscious biological level that you're not being yourself. You're being nice to be nice. And that's a weakness. They know that that's a weakness. They understand. Even necessarily not on a conscious level, but they still understand that it is a weakness because they can tell, and everyone can tell when you're just being nice to be nice, when you're not being able to give your opinions or do what you want to do, when you're just being super accommodating and not going after what you want. They see that. Everyone sees it. They know that you're the people pleaser. So I'm not trying to come down on you here, but what I am trying to say is that it's very transparent and there's no hiding from it. And the problem is that's going to cause you to look weak in front of a woman, emotionally weak, which then says that this guy doesn't have actual confidence because he doesn't believe in himself. And now they're turned off. They're turned off. So it's not about should you stop being a nice guy. It's about stop being the accommodating, people-pleasing, non-personality guy. The terminology these days that's synonymous with that little thing I said is nice guy. So that's a quick way of saying it. So don't worry about the confusion of, well, we tripped. Well, what about mean and being nice and being mean? And how does that all work? Let's just forget about that for a second and break this down to its lowest common denominator. It's just about you seeing the world in a way where you need to do things for other people to get what you want. But we can skip all that and you can just go after what you want right now and not be scared of the rejection. You have a fragile ego that is scared of being rejected from women and from people. Therefore, you placate to them and you try to act in a way that gets them to like you through you displaying a false personality. So don't think about this as nice and mean. So should you be a nice person? Well, yeah, you can be a very nice person with also having your own personality, not doing things for other people just to get things, and not dumbing down your personality. So what I'm saying here is it's possible to be a good person while still going after what you want. I highly recommend, if you want any results in your life with women, that you experiment with this idea, that you take the next few weeks and you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to do things for me, and I'm not going to be doing things for others to get things for me. So what does that look like? Well, that means that you're going to have your own opinions and not be scared what people think of you. You're going to dress the way you want without being scared what people think of you. You are going to go after what you want, going up to a girl, having a conversation, asking a girl out, getting rid of the girls that have put you in the friend zone, even though, let's be honest, you put yourself there because that's kind of how the friend zone works. And you're not going to be continuously trying to do what other people want to do things that you want to do the activities that you want to do. Step back inside of yourself and go back into who you are. Who are you as a person? What do you like? What do you enjoy? Do those things. People are way more attracted to people who are just carving their own path, doing their thing. So much more attractive. This, my friend, is an exercise. This does not come easy. This is not going to happen overnight. You're going to be upgrading your personality. You know how you take your iPhone and what you do to get the upgraded software is you have to download it, or you go to the settings, or maybe you're using an Android, whatever you're using. I'm sure you're on some sort of smartphone or maybe a computer. What do you got to do? You got to download all of the new software and then you have to install it. It's still the same phone. We're just using new software. That's what we do with you to transform you from nice guy to just being you, who is still a good person, but more attractive because you're not accommodating to other people. What we need to do is download this information, which you're technically doing now by me talking to you or getting coaching or reading about it or listening to other podcasts. And then what we do is we install that information. So now that you have all the information and know what to do, you start installing it. Installing is you practicing day by day because it doesn't happen overnight, okay? Unfortunately, in order to get to the point where you are no longer this nice guy or nice guy mentality, it's going to take repetitive time. That's the installation process of you getting out of that and upgrading your personality and being more of you. Some people say, well, I don't want to be someone that's different from me. Well, no, really, you're going to be more of who you are because the nice guy is a fake version of you. It's the manipulative version of you to try to get what you want. But like I said earlier, to get what you want, we got to go back to the root of who you actually are and not being accommodating to women. A lot of nice guys are very, very needy, right? Very needy. They want to make sure that they're doing everything right and making sure that they haven't said anything wrong or done anything wrong. They try to make it all perfect so the person likes them. When really, again, the woman just wants to see who you are as you, because that is more of a sign of strength because you don't care what people think about you. And that says that you're going to conquer this world and go about this world in such a way where you're not going to be relying on other people. You have the inner strength. It goes pretty deep. Again, all of this on a subconscious level, but this is how attraction works. It's not a choice, and it's all happening on a biological level. So if you want a woman to pay attention to you, to get interested in you, you need to be the you that you are. So we need to remove nice guy mentality and everyday practice the installation process. How are we going to do that? You got to create your own life. You got to do what you want. Of course, I'm not saying that you can't be compromising. It's not that you're just doing whatever you want and you have complete disregard for any other human. That's being an asshole. No, you can still be a good person and hear other people's opinions and take interest in that and what people want to do or what your girl wants to do on a date or what she thinks about this music or whatever it is. You're just going to accept what people say. You don't have to be judgmental about it, but it doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. And again, placate to who they are. Let's come back to who you are and display that. I feel like I've been a little bit repetitive here, but I really want to just go over these concepts over and again so it really, really makes sense and you understand what's going on here. And more importantly, you're scared. I want you to walk away from this episode freaked out, so scared that you are going to continue to be this nice guy. The thing is, you know what you're doing. Meaning, I'm saying this to you. I'm not being very specific with examples, but I don't need to be because if you're listening to this episode, you have an idea of how you're doing it. And you're probably right. You know the things you're doing in your life that seem to be nice guy mentality, nice guy traits, nice guy activities. You're doing it. We need to stop those. I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you an idea of what to do if you're feeling like nice guy. Just a nice reminder for the nice guys out there. What I want to do next is I want to answer some questions that have come to me through email. If you have any questions that you need answered, email me, trip@tripadvice.com, and I will answer them here on the podcast. Also, what I want you to do is I want you to call in if you have any questions. So if you have any questions and you want to give me more detail, you can call in to 323-432-0025, and then I will put your voicemail here on the podcast and answer your question, 323-432-0025. Go ahead, call in, leave a voicemail, or like I said, email me, trip@tripadvice.com. Put in the subject line podcast question, and I'll answer it here. Here is Jose. Hey, Trip. My name is Jose, and I'm 32 years old, in shape, have a pretty good job, and have always done okay with the ladies, but could do better. I've came across your content, and I find it really helpful. My question is, I was wondering if I should even bother with trying to date at the moment. The reason why I'm asking is because I've been dealing with a legal issue that's been costing a bit of money, a DUI. I ended up moving in with my parents 2 weeks ago to get back on my feet. The good thing I'm just about done with and plan to put it behind me. As you have probably heard from other clients, is that living at home is not the most attractive thing to a woman. Should I put a pause to dating or just try to work around the issue? Thanks for the content, Trip. Keep up the good work. You know, this is coming at an interesting time because I kind of will relate this to the whole concept behind New Year's resolutions. A lot of people, right at the finish line of the year, November, December, they start to get really lazy. They start to go, you know what? January's coming up, New Year's resolution. I'll fix my big problem that I need to fix in a couple months. Fresh start, right? And I get it. I understand. You know, it's an easy way to procrastinate. But the best way to really get a resolution done is to start as soon as possible. The best thing to do anything, and I've said this before, is right now. The best time to solve anything is right now. The best time to set a goal is right now. It's significantly better to start now in anything that you want, even if it's a small step, than doing it in the future. So even for you, and especially you, because you say that you're just about done, you plan to put it all behind you. At this point, it seems like you are close to the home stretch here, whatever that's going to mean for you. So I would start now. You don't have to worry about any girl being in a relationship with you, but you got to build the skill and you got to practice meeting women. It's a skill. You got to get over all the humps you need to get over, whatever they are, whatever your situation is, whether it's approach anxiety, conversation skills, flirting skills, whatever you think it is, better to start now. There's no point in waiting. And don't worry, yeah, you live at home. Okay, you have a DUI. It's not ideal for you right now. But again, it's okay to still go out and practice and have conversations and at least do some approaches. That's not going to kill you. It's only going to make you stronger. So my advice is start now, do it now. And by the time you're going to be ready to actually get into something more serious or feel a little bit more in a better place because you figured out your legal situation or maybe you moved into your own place, well, then you don't have to start from scratch. You're already kind of in it. You got some momentum going. So as long as you have everything set in your life with that, then yes, continue to date, continue to approach. Just don't let that get in the way of these bigger things. Don't let approaching and meeting women get in the way of whatever you have to handle. But you're saying here that it's about done and you're good to go, then yes, I think it's good to start now. Here's another question. Hello, Trip. I'm a 22-year-old guy from Germany. I've been dating multiple girls for about 4 years now. I'm getting a lot of dates, which is good for my numbers game. The obstacle for me is that what girls see me as a boyfriend material instead of a partner for sexual relationships. I want to have more sexual relationships with multiple girls. Is there anything you can recommend for not being seen as boyfriend material? Thanks a lot for your content. I love it. Cheers, Jan. If I'm saying that right. Janice. John. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Sounds like you're almost kind of getting into the friend zone a little bit in a weird way, or I guess we'll call this kind of like boyfriend zone. It probably just means that you're not getting sexual with them faster. You're probably going on lots of dates with women, right? You're dating multiple girls and you've been doing it for a while, but you're just kind of going on dates and you're probably not creating any sexual tension. I talk about how to do this in my program called Hooked, which if you're listening, you can get at getterhooked.com. And I go over this in my coaching program, but let me tell you that sexual tension is one of the most important things you need to make sure you're not just landing in some sort of boyfriendy, non-sexual, brother type zone, okay? Again, I understand that still boyfriends get to have sex with their partners, but the way you're describing it sounds like they just love talking to you and there's no real tension being built. So you probably have to start escalating faster. So if you're dating multiple women and it's going well, try to get physical with them faster. Of course, make sure you get consent. Should go without saying, but you need to try to get physical with them, kiss them, bring them back to your place. Go for sex. That's it. You should just go for it. You're probably not doing that. You're probably just being the guy who is just more friendly, but it's the context of a date, so they're looking at more like a boyfriend. And also, if you start to have sex with them, make sure, actions speak louder than words here, is that you don't go on these dates with them. That's another thing, is if you're going on these like extravagant dates or dinners or this or that, you're setting yourself up for a relationship. So any guy who's listening who wants to get into a relationship, that's fine. You should be going on dates and that's good, but still going for sex early. But as a guy who's just looking for something casual, you should be going on just more like hangouts. Like, yeah, grab a drink, invite her back to your place. Make it so it's not datey. So it's not getting her thinking that it's moving towards this kind of like typical courtship process, you know, where you go on dates and then you eventually have sex and then she becomes your girlfriend. Instead, make it more like a hookup. And of course, if they're not interested, they're not interested. But let it be known with your actions, invite them over. Be the guy who invites them over late, who invites them over because you're not interested in anything more than that, and they'll get the hint. It's just really wrong, and it confuses women when you're doing this combination of dates, but you're just trying to kind of hook up with them. So you invite them over late. Just stick to one or the other. It's black or white. Just try to hang out with them and just do hooking up, or go on dates and do the whole courtship thing. In both cases, still, like I'm saying here, you want to make sure you're building sexual tension and you're going for kiss and you're breaking touch barrier and you are moving it towards sex. My friend, I hope that helps you. I hope that this has given you some insight here. We're talking about, like I said, the nice guy answered some questions, and I hope that for you who's listening, you're taking some notes and you're applying this to your dating life. Nothing is good here unless you're applying it. So let's make sure you go out there, you're doing approaches, doing your skill set, building everything up, working on it nonstop. If you need help, you can go to coachedbytrip.com where you and I can do coaching together and work personally on your skill set so you don't need to do this all by yourself. Do you need help? If you do, coachedbytrip.com. All right, man. Hope that helps. Looking forward to talking to you on the next episode.